Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome. I'm Bette McCarthy, and as chair of the Barnstable Old Kings Highway Historic District Committee, I wish to call the meeting to order. To all, this meeting of the Old Kings Highway Historic District Committee is being recorded and broadcast on the Town of Barnstable Government Access Channel. And in accordance with the Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 20, the chair must inquire whether anyone else is recording this meeting, and if so, they must make their presence known. Okay, all right. I assume no one else is recording it. So to all persons deemed interested or affected by the Town of Barnstable Old Kings Highway Historic District Act under Section 9 of Chapter 470, Acts of 1973, as amended, you are hereby notified that a hearing will be held this evening on the applications listed on the agenda for November 13th, 2024. And this meeting at 6:30 p.m. will be held remotely on Zoom. We'd like to remind all applicants and audience members that we are an elected volunteer committee, and we follow the guidelines of the Town of Barnstable Old Kings Highway Historic District Act. And any applicant or interested party who's aggrieved by a decision of this committee, they have a right to appeal the decision to the Old Kings Highway Regional Historic Commission. We ask that during this evening's proceedings, cell phones be turned off and conversations other than those before the committee take place outside of this remote meeting. When an applicant is called, we ask that the applicant and all interested parties identify themselves. And lastly, as best practices for remote meetings that are held remotely, where we may not be able to visually identify who's speaking, we ask that all committee members and participants identify themselves before making any motions or comments. Online audience members wishing to participate during the public comment section of the hearing can use the raised hand button.
Applicant's representative.
To notify
Jim Haggerty is representing me.
Oh, okay, great. Not a problem. I'll move you right over.
Dial-in audience members wishing to participate during the public comment of the hearing should press *9 on their phones to notify.
Leslie, you want to test your audio before I move you over?
Okay, wait a minute. Let me do unmute. Okay. Can you hear me? Oh, damn it.
I can hear you, Leslie.
Yeah.
Oh, you can? Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
All right. Yep. Now, I don't know. I pushed something and it got me into this another way. Okay.
Yeah.
Join.
So Leslie, what's going on is you're joining in the main session with Sarah. Sarah is supposed to be bumping us over, but we can somehow hear Sarah in the breakout room, and I am not sure why.
Well, it says
so sorry for the
right
interruptions, everybody. We are definitely having some technical issues tonight.
All right.
It says join breakout room. Do I press join?
Yes, press the join the breakout room, Leslie.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Oh, okay. Now yeah, okay.
Okay, Leslie, I'll need you to mute on one side or the other because you're going to echo between two devices.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to proceed now. And the first order of business for this meeting this evening is to take roll call attendance. And Wendy Schuck.
Here.
Brian Caholen.
Here.
Leslie Wallace.
So, and the fourth.
Sounds good.
Leslie, are you there?
Yeah, looks like she's here, but I don't know if she's muted or not.
Yeah, I think we're on mute.
We know she's here. Let's continue with the roll call.
All right. And Bette McCarthy, present. So, for a first order of business this evening is to look at a continued application. And this is for Timothy Friary of 4305 Main Street, Barnstable, map 350, parcel 049, built in 1980, and is to construct a bump out addition on the left elevation and to replace and renovate the rear porch, window placement changes, and replacements, and some front facade changes as well. So is the applicant available to discuss their application for this evening?
Yes, we're both here. I'm the Joe Botello from JB Designs. I drew the plans if you have any questions, and Mr. Ferrari is here. Tim.
Okay, very
We're both
good.
here. Good.
So will you take us through your application?
Whatever. Oh, something happened. Oh, yes. Okay.
Okay,
Yep. So that's existing. So where the garage door is, that's going to be a new entry. And we'll be adding some windows to the left of that and to the right as well. Yeah. Yep. That's a new look. And there's also on the left elevation to the rear, there's already a foundation there. And we're going to be adding a bathroom in that same area. Yep, right there, that bump out.
okay,
And there's also a rear porch existing, and it's in really bad condition. So we're taking it down and rebuilding it. And the only difference is we're going to be relocating the stairs. Right now, it's right in front of that window, those 3 windows. So we're going to be moving over to the other side, to the left elevation, as you see it.
okay. All right. Very good. Is that complete your remarks right now?
Yes, yeah. And then other than
Okay.
that, that's for the exterior. Other than that, the house is going to be renovated.
Okay. All right. Now would the committee like to make some remarks on this application? Ryan, would you like to discuss this?
Just a question or a point of clarity. Can you pull up the original, the current? Yeah, there you go. Right, so that's looking at it from the street. Is there any way to incorporate, to preserve some of the look, to incorporate either that beam extension for what would be for like a hayloft pulley? Any way to incorporate something like that into the new design? It's ornamental, but that, from my point of view, keeps it a little more in kind with where it is and what it has been for the last several years. And even if that was coupled with a false door at the top, just to simulate a loft of some sort, I feel like based on your front elevation photo, it might be doable. I'm just going to put that out there for discussion.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I think that the rest is very appropriate. But I would love to know if it would be possible to incorporate that sort of look with the hayloft.
Is that a question for us?
Uh-huh. Yes.
Yeah.
Would you like
Yes.
to comment on that suggestion?
Yeah. Originally, I tried that. It really didn't look that good as I drew it. It it just gave it like a barn look, and uh, it just didn't mix. It just didn't. It didn't look that appealing, to be honest with you.
I'll be honest, I think what we're trying to do is preserve the barn look. I don't think we're trying to turn a barn into a house.
Well, that's true. Yeah, it's true, but we are changing the looks. We are adding windows. It no longer becomes a barn with the three windows and the entry. It becomes like a little, it still gives you the rustic look, the 6A look. It's gonna be old look. It's gonna be shingles, and it's I don't know, with the barn. It didn't look that great.
Yeah.
With that barn look door.
Yeah, I would prefer not to have it. This is Tim Friary. I think my idea, a little down the road is to put a barn over in that lot next to it, a smaller barn. But for now, I don't have enough money to do the whole project, so we're
Sure.
going to do this now.
Understood. I mean, look, I recognize it's not a historic structure. It's only from 1980, but
Right.
I'm of the opinion it should look a little bit more like it does today. But aside from that, I have no other comments. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ryan. Wendy, would you like to discuss this application?
Yeah, I have some questions. So one is, I think you just mentioned, and I think you came to the committee not too long ago to get plans approved for another structure on the property.
Well, that was out back. Yes, we were looking at that, but the cost for that was pretty substantial for what we had to do.
Okay. So are you not going to be building that structure?
No, we're not.
You're not. Okay. So I was going to say, if you were, I would need to see kind of the rendering of that structure alongside this one, to make sure that it was cohesive and in harmony. But if you're not going to do that, that's fine. So I do have a couple questions. So you answered the question about the the ornamental structure. So that's going to go away, and the loft doors will go away. From my perspective, which is fine. As Ryan said, it's not an old barn, it's new. Could you tell me like the size of the rake boards, the corner boards, and the casings? Because I don't think those were included in the application. I think this structure needs something fairly substantial, trim wise, but it wasn't listed on there.
Yeah, so the existing stays. It'll probably be replaced if it needs to be replaced, but the new structure, you should have the working plans, right? You do. It says 1x8 and 1x3 rakes, and then 1x5, 1x6 corner boards.
Okay. And what about the window casings?
That's gonna be pretty standard, 1x4 casing.
1x4. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it just wasn't listed on the application, so I wasn't sure. So okay. So that's good. On the bump out, is it possible to add a window on that bump out? It's gonna be just a big side of the house without any windows on it. Is it possible to add a window there?
Well,
think
that's
you
where the
said-
shower is. The shower's right there.
Okay, so that won't happen.
The shower's right there. I mean, there's stuff we can do, like a trellis.
Okay,
There's, stuff you can do to break it up.
yeah, that would be nice to break it up.
Yeah.
Um,
Landscape should take care of that.
yep, trees, okay. Okay, let's see what else I have. The windows, I would prefer to see like 6/6 windows here. I think it's more in keeping with the other homes in the area as opposed to the 6/1. That would be my preference. And then the door, style seems to be, I learned this from George Jessup, more of a craftsman style door, and I think maybe more of a colonial style door, you know, with those longer windows. I think that's more craftsman style. And then the color of the door, is that going to be a stained wood or?
Real white.
Brown, brown, yeah.
Brown.
Brown, okay. Okay. Let me just see my notes
You
here.
want the girls at the bottom too? That's what she's asking.
Yeah.
You said the top, as you're gonna top, you want it in the bottom as well?
What is the grills?
There's no grills at the bottom, it's the top.
Okay. Yeah.
You want it in the bottom too?
Yeah. What do you think? Yeah, that's.
I think you have 6/6 now, I think. The windows are up. Yeah, it looks like, well, no, actually they look like 8/8. So you're gonna put different windows in, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. And then over on looking at the house on the right side, I don't think there's any windows over there either, right?
No, there isn't.
Yeah. Anything to break that up? Any suggestions?
We were actually looking for privacy on that side. That was the idea.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you know, and just maybe some landscaping around there, you know, might help a little bit. So,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it will be landscaped.
Yeah, I'm a little bit of a minimalist with landscaping. If it's perennial flowers, would that be good? I'm not into a lot of landscape shrubs, perhaps some hydrangeas and stuff,
Okay.
but more of a perennial.
Yeah, I'm just thinking more to break it up. It's a big solid wall without anything on it, but it's the side view, right? So, you know, going down 6A, you see mostly the front of the house. And I do think it's a very nice improvement over what's there today. Yeah, that's it for my comments, Beth.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Wendy. Leslie, are you available to make some comments?
Appears not at the moment. I'll give her another phone call, see if she can join back on via her phone because her audio does not seem to be working. But if you want to continue with your comments in this application, Bet, while
All
I try
right.
to give her a phone call.
All right. I pretty much concur with what some of the committee has discussed. I think I'm not in favor of adding or keeping that pediment on the top there because the property is an antique. It was built in 1980. I do think a lattice or some kind of a trellis and landscaping would improve the hard look of the addition on the left side. Otherwise, I don't have any comments. I think the application is the design is appropriate for the 6A. So that concludes my comments. I don't know if Leslie is able to come on right now or not. Erica, I think she's trying to reach her.
Yeah, she's going to try to log back on, but in the meantime, why don't we just keep moving along with
all
the
right.
application?
Erica, would you let us know if there are any members of the public wishing to comment on this application?
Chair, this is Erica Brown. I do not see anyone wishing to make comment on this item at this time.
All right. So why don't we then have a motion to close the public hearing portion of this application?
Sure, this is Wendy Shuck, and I move to close the public hearing.
Ryan Cahola, I'll second.
Thank you, Brian. And a roll call vote. Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
and Bette McCarthy, aye. So now we need a motion to approve this application.
This is Wendy Shuck, and I move to approve the certificate of appropriateness application for Timothy Friary, 4305 Main Street, Barnstable, map 350, parcel 049, built 1980, with the following modifications: to add a lattice and/or landscaping on the right side addition and 6/6 windows, otherwise as submitted.
All right. And a second,
Ryan Cahola, I'll second.
and a roll call vote. Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
and Bette McCarthy, aye. So this application for Mr. Friary is approved with those modifications. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
All right. So our next application is for Caroline and Sean Brennan of 4054 Main Street, Barnstable, map 336, parcel 048, built in 1850. And this is to install a white English lattice in the front of the house along the street. And I believe the applicant has requested a withdrawal on their application. So we need a motion to accept that.
Okay, this is Wendy Shuck, and I move to accept the withdrawal request for Sean and Caroline Brennan, 40554 Main Street, Barnstable, map 336, parcel 048, built 1850.
All right.
Ryan Cahola, I'll second.
Thank you. And a roll call vote. Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
Bette McCarthy, aye. And I don't know if Leslie's on yet or not, perhaps not. We don't hear from her. All right. All right, we're going to move over to the next application, continued application, and it is for St. Mary's Episcopal Church, 3055 Main Street, Barnstable, and that is map 279, parcel 042, built in 1900. And it was to install 49 Q-cell 425 roof-mounted solar panels, and the total system size was 20.825 kilowatts. Is the applicant available to discuss?
That would be I, Neil from Solar Rising, representing the church. As you mentioned, we're trying to install 49 panels. After hearing the concerns from the church, from the board, we resubmitted a plan for the modules to be on the interior courtyard of the building.
Okay. And that new solar array that is not visible from Main Street, is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
Okay. All right. Do you have any further comments, or may we ask the committee what their...
Yeah, by all means. I mean, I think we went over what we were trying
Okay.
to do last week and resubmitted a plan that hopefully pleases the board.
All right. Wendy, would you like to discuss the change in the solar array?
Sure. I certainly appreciate pulling them all into the inside of the courtyard. That's really a perfect solution. Just curious, is it still 49? Did you stick with the same number?
Yes, it is.
Okay, great. Yeah, other than that, I'm good.
All right. And Ryan, would you like to comment on this?
I have no comments.
All right. And this is Bette McCarthy, and I also don't have any comments. I think the new array is totally appropriate. Do we have any, I don't know if Leslie is able to respond or not.
Chair, this is Erica Brown. Leslie, you are muted if you want to try to unmute yourself and make a comment. Fortunately, it does not seem as if
Okay,
she
can you hear me now?
Yes,
Oh,
we
yes.
can hear you
Yeah.
now.
Okay,
Yay.
yeah.
Did you have any comments?
Yes, I appreciate your hard work, Neil, and this is what we were looking for, so it's good for me.
All right. Very good. Thank you, Leslie. Erica, is there anybody in the public wishing to comment on this revised application?
Chair, this is Erica Brown. I don't see anyone wishing to speak to this item at this time.
All right. So in that case, we need a motion to close the public hearing.
Sure, this is Wendy Shuck, and I move to close the public hearing.
Ryan Caholen, I'll second.
Thank you. And a roll call vote. Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
and Bette McCarthy, aye. So now we need a motion to approve the modified and the change of the application.
This is Wendy Shuck, and I move to approve the certificate of appropriateness application for St. Mary's Episcopal Church, 3055 Main Street, Barnstable, map 279, parcel 042, built in 1900, according to the revised plan, otherwise as submitted.
Thank
Ryan
you.
Caholen, I'll second.
Thank you. And a roll call vote. Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
and Bette McCarthy, aye. So this application is approved as modified. Thank you very much.
Thank you, board. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right. Our next application is for Melissa and Jeffrey Cotto of 50 Apollo Drive, West Barnstable, map 130, parcel 046, built in 1974. And it is to remove a double hung window and replace it with two 12 by 12 casement windows, to replace the siding to match the existing where it's needed. So we need to open a public hearing for this application.
Yep, this is Wendy Shuck, and I move to open the public hearing.
Ryan Caholen, I'll second.
Thank you. And a roll call vote. Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
and Bette McCarthy, aye. So is the applicant available to discuss their application for a 50 Apollo Drive?
Oh, I
Mr.
think you're
Mr.
muted.
Hennessy, if that's you, you're on mute.
Sorry. Hi, my name is Gabe Hennessy. I am the representative or the contractor for 50 Apollo Drive for Jeffrey and Melissa Cotto. The project is to remove that existing double hung window, which is in the bathroom. We're doing a bathroom remodel, and it doesn't give them any privacy. So they were hoping to get two 24 by 24s in that, which is pretty much the top sash. So there would be two windows in that area. It's more for privacy because where the toilet is, you're looking right in on it. So they wanted to get a little bit more privacy there. Trying to keep it as like, we're going to replace the same siding to match in 1x4 PVC trim on the outside with historic sill. We're going to have shutters to match to. We'll shrink the shutters down and match it as like.
Okay. All right. Does that conclude your remarks?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Let's have some committee comments on that. Wendy, would you like to discuss it?
Yeah, just one question. So looking at the picture of the house,
Mm-hmm.
where is the window?
It's being blocked right now. It's right above your mouse, right there. Yep,
Okay,
correct.
so that there will be replaced with the two double
With the two double
with the
hunks.
two
The
the double casement, right? Okay.
two casement.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm fine with it. I mean, is there really a better reason to put a new window in than the one you gave? So, yeah, I don't have any other comments. And I think it's in such a remote location,
It
that,
is at the end of the cul-de-sac.
yeah, and far away from 6A. So I'm okay. I'm fine with it.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Wendy. Ryan, what are your comments?
Yeah, short and sweet. I think it's appropriate.
Leslie,
I agree with everybody.
thank you. And this is Bet, and I also agree. I don't have any problems with this. So let's see if there's anybody in the public wishing to make comments on this application.
Chair, this is Erica Brown. I do not see anyone wishing to speak to this item at this time.
Okay, so then we need to close the public hearing.
This is Wendy Shuck, and I move to close the public hearing.
Ryan Caholen, I'll second.
Thank you. And a roll call vote. Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
and Bette McCarthy, aye. So now we need a motion to approve the application.
Okay, this is Wendy Shuck, and I move to approve the certificate of appropriateness application for Jeffrey and Melissa Cotto, 50 Apollo Drive, West Barnstable, map 130, parcel 046, built 1974, as submitted.
Ryan Caholen, I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call vote. Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
and Bette McCarthy, aye. So the application for 50 Apollo Drive, West Barnstable is approved as submitted.
Thank you, committee members.
Thank you.
Very good. All right. Our next application is for Joseph McFarland of 35 George Street, Barnstable, of map 319, parcel 063, built in 1972, to add dormers to the front and rear of the main house, to construct a new front porch and garage with a room above. So we need to open a public hearing for this application.
This is Wendy Shuck, and I move to open the public hearing.
Ryan Caholen, I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call vote. Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
and Bette McCarthy, aye. So now is the applicant or their representative available to discuss?
Yes. Hi, my name's Jim Haggerty. I am representing Stephen Constantino, who purchased this property this summer from the McFarlands. So I just want to have that correction in the application if I could.
What was the name again? I'm sorry, Jim.
Stephen Constantino.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what we're trying to do is, and you can see on the first page here, I don't know if Erica can blow it up at all so we see all three. I have the drawings, I have the rendering, and I have the photograph of the existing. So we're taking the existing building. You can see there, it's kind of just a little traditional cape. We're going to pull the roof off, rearrange some windows, and then put a full dormer on the front. We're going to also put the full dormer on the back as well, which increases those bedrooms, allows us to do a bathroom up there and such. All right, towards the right of the home, you can see we introduced a porch on the side where we're going to put a front door. Okay, in that room is cathedral. We're going to add a cupola to that space above, as you can see above that front door. All right, there's an existing garage there now. We're going to be taking that down and expanding into a 2-car garage with a room over it. And then we have a half-car garage, really just for storage on the far right of that. You can scroll through and see some other renderings of the project. There's an angle. There, the first shot of the existing and then the proposed. You can see better here where the that half-car garage, which is just a 7-foot wide door, where the other doors are 9-foot wide, and a setback off the front by a couple feet. On the side, yep. So there's the rear. You can kind of see. Sorry, Erica, I'm bouncing around. You can see on the rear here where the full dormer is shown, and then the garage on the far left in this rendering. And then that is just the entrance and mudroom kind of access right there where the cursor is right now. Yes, right there.
Uh-huh.
All right, and so we are kind of relocating a few windows to accommodate the new layout inside and such. The exterior will remain natural white cedar shingles. It's all double hung windows, all true divided lights. We have a 6/1 pattern, which is something you do see in this general area of town. And all the trim will be 1x6 corner boards, all painted white, 1x8 rakes, 1x3 sub rake. The shutters on the front of the home will be true active shutters with holdbacks and hinge pins. Okay, and they are a board and batten style, which you can see in the specifications that I prepared for the application. There you go. Yeah, might be hard to see here, but there you go. Okay. The garage doors, carriage house style door. We're going to have some glass in the upper panel and some grill patterns. Grill patterns vary a little bit. That's the only picture I could find of a garage door, similar styling. All right, and on the front door, it's a 4-light door. There you go. That's the windows we're looking to use. It's a 4-light door with a single panel below it, and the front door is going to have side lights, which coordinate with that style. So I think that covers what we're trying to do here. So I'm happy to answer any questions the committee might have.
All right. Very good. Brian, would you like to discuss this application?
Yeah, I'm trying to look at the actual site plan. How close does that bring you to your property line on the right? Looking at the front elevation.
I believe it's about 15 feet.
So
you're right, not too far off from what's there now.
Yeah.
See that shed there that's now pretty much the same length as what's there currently.
Yeah, I mean, so I'll be very honest. I love the look. I think it's a lot of house for that lot. I think it's a
But
beautiful.
You can see the outline of where we have the setbacks aligned, and we are, of course, within all of those setbacks. That lot happens to be a little wider than some of the other lots in the neighborhood, which allows us a little bit more space, and that was part of the idea of Mr. Constantino wanting to purchase this property.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I love the look of it. I feel like it's a lot of house for that lot, and this is no fault of yours, but that entire area is being consumed by too much house on too little lot. You're not the first application, you won't be the last. But I mean, we're sort of, and I don't want to speak for the other folks on the board, but I'm sure that they're going to back me up here. In the last 2 years in particular, we have seen this like over and over and over again. And, my concern is that entire area is losing its charm with every additional foot that we take right to the minimum clearance at the edge of the property lines. So again, I love your design. If the lot was bigger to support that, I would feel much, much better about it. I mean, that's probably all I can offer at this point.
Okay, just where we are following what the town allows us to do in there. There is a house across the way that's similar length.
Yeah, and just keep in
And so there
mind,
are.
what the town from a permitting standpoint is looking at is very different from what we are looking at. So, full disclosure, you're familiar.
All right. Thank you, Ryan. Wendy.
Yeah, so I had two things. So right there, Erica, thank you. You landed perfectly. So the roof line between kind of that little porch area where the cupola is and the garage. So the top rendering kind of shows that it's a couple feet higher, but the bottom rendering doesn't, I don't know if it doesn't show it or it's just hard to see.
If we can scroll down, Erica, to maybe the next page, might where there's an angle photograph rendering. Yeah, if you can kind of, I don't know if you can zoom in to the um, upper right, that might help. If you can scroll, there we go.
Oh, okay.
There, you can kind of
So
see a
it's kind
little
of
better
set
there. It
back.
does get a
Okay.
little distracting in some of the renderings.
Yeah. Okay, so that's good. It's broken up a little bit. I share Ryan's concerns. I mean, it's a long house and it takes up almost the entire lot across. In my mind, it would be better if we could lose that little half garage. It may not, take up quite so much room, and then you have a lot of like driveway there. But I agree, I think the look and the style of the house is appropriate for the area, but it is a lot of house for that lot.
Oh, okay. Is that pretty much your comments then, Wendy?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Thank you, Bet.
great.
Yes.
Good. All right. Thank you. Leslie, would you like to comment?
Yeah, it is nice. I like the design. And I can see the point where it's kind of a McMansion on a small lot. And it's happening all over and it's not good sometimes. But anyway, that getting rid of the little half, well, it's not even half, it's fairly large, but the end garage might help a little bit. What's the square footage of this?
Oh, I think it's I don't know, I have it in the application. Should be on the front page of the
You
application.
know what? I can't see much. I'm having trouble with so if you could just tell me, that would be great. Oh no, don't tell me I lost it. Oh no, here it is. Oh, here, okay, all right.
Yeah, so the existing building's 1,252 square feet. The addition is this includes second floor, the enlarged second floor space and the room over the garage. It's pretty much all we're adding per square footage, and that's another 920 square feet, where
Okay,
over the garage is probably 400 of that.
so that house is a little over 2,000 square
Yeah.
feet?
Yeah, that's all, about 2,100 feet.
Oh, it looks so much bigger. Well,
Yeah, I mean, there are some bigger homes down there that get closer and closer to the water,
yeah,
and it's an evolving neighborhood. They're just old cottages, so we're going to see this more and more. And it just happens to be a longer lot, not very deep, so we can't go back,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So we have to go forward, or long, I should say. But if you go back to site plan, you can see that. I understand your point.
Yeah.
But with that, garage, the next question is going to be if he doesn't have that storage, if we can we gotta look at putting a shed in there somewhere, right? Because that last section is just for
Yeah.
storage. So we'd have to come back for a
Yeah.
shed
Well,
application at some
I
point,
just
right?
looked at the original house that you're, doing this up. And I mean, it's so different in size that, can you go back to yeah, that one. That's what I want. Yep. I mean, it's like you'd never even know it was the same. It's a lot bigger. I don't know
Well,
what you could do about that.
the massing on the front, we got the full dormer, so that makes
Yeah.
it a little more beefy. We do have a one-car garage, so yeah, we're adding maybe 20 feet, I think, to the right side.
Yeah.
I don't have the exact number. Now, I think what happens on the right side that may be affecting the look of the massing is the gable roof. One option that we can look at is, and you see this on a lot of older um, barns and such, where you kind of have that lean-to concept, so you don't have the big gable roof, but you have a sloping roof, and versus the taller roof line that you see there.
Yeah.
So that might help soften the look a bit and still allow Mr. Constantino some storage.
Now, you said
well.
that last little garage, smaller, not little, smaller garage is set back 2 feet.
Correct. Yeah. The next page shows it a little better,
Yeah,
Erica.
because when you look at
Yeah,
it,
we can-
yeah, now I see. Yep, I remember that one. Uh, well, I think it looks great, but I agree. It just looks massive in comparison to what was there. But maybe that's just me.
Yeah, I don't think it's any longer than the house across the way.
Yeah.
So we're trying to design something small instead of going for a full, great big 2-story kind
Yeah.
of structure.
I
Trying to
liked how you
keep it
did
low profile so it fits a little better in that area.
I like how you did the porch and then going into the garage on the new. It's very nice how you did that. I like that. Well, I don't know what to say.
If you were to go with a shed instead, is there room back there for a shed? In the backyard
Yes.
somewhere?
Yes, there would be. Yeah, if we keep it under a certain size, we can bring it closer to the lot line.
Can I jump in for a second?
Sure.
Is that appropriate? So it's kind of deceiving when you look at some of these because the shed that's coming down is a 20 by 15 shed, which is the same size as that garage. We just pulled it against the house so that we would have more space for my neighbor to the right. So if I went back to a shed, I'd be encroaching on that property line to the right. And we're just trying to be considerate to the neighbor to the right. That's all.
So
See if you look at see the shed there. If you look at the length of the garage, it doesn't go as far as the shed does now. It does in the rendering, it looks a lot bigger, but because it steps back in 3 different places, so the house is one section, and then the front door steps back, and then the garage steps back, and then you
Yeah.
have a little bit of a 2 foot step back for that shed area. And I mean, if it just doesn't make any make any sense to then add to take up more of the yard space to do a shed. That's why we're trying to incorporate it into the side of the garage. Because these homes don't have basements and there's no storage. And we were trying to clean it up so that it's pleasant. I mean, you can see from the house, it's the main house doesn't expand in size. It's just for some reason the rendering makes it look so much longer than it really is.
Right.
I think with the extra 20 or so feet, I mean, you're essentially replicating what is there to the right once you knock down the
That's
single front
but
garage.
what I'm saying is so we see where the end of the shed is.
Uh-huh.
That the house that's drawn doesn't go as far as that shed. It actually comes back because I think we have 15 feet to the property line from the shed, and I think we're going to 19 feet from the property line. If you look at the if you go here, yeah, we're 19.5 from the property line there. So it pulls it back in. It almost takes the shed, instead of going long, it turns it the other way and pulls it up against the new addition so that it doesn't take up as much space.
Yeah, but the shed's a separate structure. You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
I understand it, I get it, but
Okay.
that third bay makes
All
it tough.
right. This is Bette McCarthy. I wanted to comment on the application, and I visited the property. And first of all, I think the plans are very comprehensive, and the proposal versus the existing, it's very clear and easy to view that, as well as visiting the property. As many of the committee have commented, the whole area is undergoing a transformation. There's really nothing that we can do about this. It's the sign of times. The people have the wherewithal to expand these properties, and with larger families, they need more room. When you visit the property and you see the other homes surrounding it, this proposed property is really not any larger than anything in the neighborhood. So it is attractive design, and I absolutely don't have any issues with it, other than as what the committee has said. It is large, but that's part of the issue in the whole common feels we're changing. So does anybody else have anything to say on the committee?
Yeah, I just have one other comment, that I don't really object to the size of it, because I don't think, relatively speaking, it's an enormous house. I think it's just the amount of space in the lot that it consumes is what is challenging for me. Because you're right, there are a lot of big homes in the area.
Yeah,
So
down
are
towards
you,
the beach. Yeah,
Yeah,
they get quite
for
large down
sure.
towards the
yeah,
beach.
are you
Right.
saying, Wendy, that the house is fine, but it's too big for the lot? Is that what you're saying? I don't understand.
Yes,
Oh,
correct.
okay.
It's like the ratio, right?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Is off.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Ooh,
So I think
Um,
if and I'm not, Steve, we'll have to confer on this a little bit, but the that gable roof that's over that third bay, again, kind of makes it, I think that's the massing that makes it feel large. And I don't know how you feel if that were kind of like a shed, or the lean-to type roof line that you see on the side of a lot of, uh, 19th century barns and such around town. I don't know if that would help reduce some of the massing concern.
But it would still be enclosed, right? Not like an open shed. Is that what
It
you're?
would be enclosed, yes,
Yeah.
enclosed. Yeah, just you
mhm.
lose that big roof line. It'd be a slower slope, from the left to the right,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. I still think, end to end with the property lines, it comes so close. It's tight. I mean, when I drove by the house today, um, before really evaluating the plans, when I came back, I was like, wow, over on the right, there's going to be more. It just seemed tight already with the small house on there.
And I think those big holly trees take your eye out of the that whole side of the lot, or that's
Right.
there now.
Are the holly trees going to be removed?
Yes, they will be.
Yeah, okay.
Is it the third, that storage area of the garage that's the biggest,
I'll just
detractor
put it out there.
for
If
you
we took a vote
guys?
today, I'm voting no based on the third bay. If the third bay was gone, I'm voting yes. Just to cut to the chase.
Yeah.
You can roll the dice for the vote across the board because it's not just my vote that counts, but I'm just putting it out there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Would the owner consider that? Is Mr. Constantino
Yeah,
online?
it's really difficult because I need this, we need the storage, and adding a separate building, I think it would take up more space than this section.
Do you have any property in the back?
Yeah, there's property I mean, you can look at I mean, there's the
Yeah,
deck on the back, and but see where the setback is, they're considering the back of the house as a frontage too, because Harbor View is there. Even though I don't have access to the road, it really should only be a back setback, but we went to a 20-foot setback. So you've got 20 feet in the back, and you have, I believe it's over 20 feet in the front as a setback. So, staying inside, and we're even further inside the building envelope, and I understand that's not your concern, but if I were to do, I wouldn't be able to do a shed in the back because of the 20-foot setback that we're trying to maintain.
Can you move that little shed back a little further, and it would not appear quite as large?
Yeah,
It looks like that could go back a little further.
I don't think we can move that beyond the setbacks due to the size of it. I think it needs to be below a certain square footage in order to move it outside of the setbacks, right? You see? So I couldn't move if I was 20 feet long too. It'd be really difficult.
It doesn't
pick it up
meet with
anyway.
the rear wall of the garage. Could that go back?
I'm sorry?
See the back
storage
of the
section?
shed?
Could that go back a little further, and then
We could push it, yeah, instead of centering it on the garage, we could push it back so it's 4-foot setback off the street, off of the face of the garage. You see, I got 2 feet in the front jog and 2 feet in the back. I was just centering the gables on the side elevation.
Well, I think that would perhaps make it a little reduce the overall mass look of it.
That'd be easy enough to do. If you're into that, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just curious what the other members feel.
Yeah. What do the rest of you think about moving that storage section back so that the rear wall of the garage and the storage are the same?
So it's 2 feet now. It would go back quite a bit.
Yeah, 4 feet. Yeah, so it would be a 4-foot jog off the front.
Rather
And
than
then
two.
the back would then be even. Correct.
Yeah. Well, hard to kind of figure it out, but
I maintain the same position I had 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you, Ryan.
So we're talking about would you be interested in seeing it with the low sloped roof, but yet keeping the kind of footprint, maybe even pushing it back 4 feet, going with that low slope roof, so it kind of eliminates that the roof line there.
Yeah, the slope roof and back 4 feet. Can you do another rendering and come back in 2 weeks so we can see it?
Yes, do you have a meeting in 2 weeks?
Yep.
No,
Oh, okay. So, oh no, Thanksgiving. Yeah.
no, yeah.
Oh, when is it, Beth? December?
December 18th.
December 18, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So it would be a while. Yeah.
Yeah. And just throwing out there, I mean, over on the left side of the house in the back, there might be a little room. I don't want to offer up, suggestions here, but maybe it's worth just continuing that and letting these guys go back and give it some thought. Because I do
Right.
think even with that shed type roof, I just think because it's all contiguous, it still looks big and long and consumes, um, much of the property boundary lines. It's tight.
And if we could just clarify too, we said that there's no basement. I think there's a bulkhead there, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just crawl space.
Yeah, it's a high water table down there.
Yeah.
So everybody's has little crawl spaces.
Right. There has been flooding in that area.
So, Steve, how do you feel about continuing and look at some other options? Whether it's the shed or the roof line
So Jim, my only option, so my option would be is to have them vote on it and take out that shed, and then just have to come back and try to get a standalone shed. Is that what you're saying?
that would be one consideration, yes, or look at the architectural plans with that different roof line.
Yeah, but it sounds like they're not interested in the different, because it's still going to have a longer frontage.
Can you attach something to the back of the garages with like a door you could get through and use that for storage?
Well,
And that'll be on
the garage will have two cars in it.
no, but I mean in the back. Put a door in and put something, a building, I don't know, 20 by 12 or whatever.
Then it would be
it.
outside the building envelope. That's my problem
Okay,
is
yeah.
the building envelope. See, if we maintain that 20 feet off the back and the 20 feet off the front, right? So, and you don't want me to do any more on the frontage, like the width. It's really difficult to have any other kind of storage that's within the envelope. I'm not trying to be difficult. We were trying to be as considerate.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I sent the drawings off to all the neighbors ahead of time just because I wanted everyone to be happy with it.
Yeah.
Well, this is bad. I think if the storage unit was pushed back a little and the roof line was reduced, I think it would be acceptable as far as my opinion is concerned.
And it has
That
to
would
be,
be-
it would be majority vote, right? So we've got
Correct.
two against
Yes.
two.
We would have to have others
Yeah.
agree to it.
Well, I may vote against it, so it would be 3 against 1.
Yeah.
It's the wrong majority. We want to go the other way.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I love you guys, but my first priority is Old Kings.
Yeah.
Do you want to
Well-
come back or
Steve,
Ryan?
I think at this point, Steve, let's regroup and
Okay.
schedule to the next one. You okay with that?
Yeah, well, Jim, the only problem is, so we're doing this house for my parents who need a first floor master, and the sooner I get this approved, the sooner I can get them moved in there. So I'm trying to be cognizant of that, right? So if I take off if I take that off and we just go with a 2-car, and then try to get a shed later. Is that or an addition later? I mean, is that an option so I can get moving? Because that's something that could be built when they're living in it.
Yes.
Yeah. Could you guys just if with an approval, could you do that with the change in just removing that third
Yep.
garage section? Is that something you would be
Yeah,
willing
yeah. The
to do
motion
as an
would sound
approval?
something like
Yeah.
as drawn to remove the 10-foot new addition to the far right of the proposed front elevation.
Yeah, that would work.
So can I ask the board, like if I do that and then I come back to get a shed for storage, am I not going to get anywhere with that because it's only going to take up more frontage, or it's going to look even bigger, even though it's a separate structure, it's going to look bigger. Are you going to have the same issue?
Well, wouldn't it be in the back?
I don't have
Oh,
the envelope in the back.
so the only way you can add on is to add on to this right side, is what you're telling us.
Well, based on the envelope that's given to me, yeah.
Can anything be done with the envelope? An exemption or any of that?
No, it cannot be.
No.
No.
Okay.
Jim, one other question for you. So right now we have the house, the porch, and then the garage is set back. If that
Yes.
garage kind of was in line with the front of the house instead of set back, was it in line with the front of the house and it would give you more room in the back to add on? Is that a possibility?
I think if you did that, because right now it's you've got the house and then the next section's step back. It's hard to see in this, but it's very pleasing because it looks like three little structures just connected. I think if you
One,
moved it forward, it would look way too obtrusive on the road.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
too
And
big.
yeah, and as you can see going down there today, parking is essential.
Yeah, well, that's true.
So
Yeah.
limiting
Okay.
Right.
more and more of the
Gotcha.
driveway, that would feel challenge.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is Pat, as far as that suggestion, it would seem even larger, the mass,
I think
if you
so.
move the garage forward.
Yeah,
It would certainly,
Yeah, without the third bay, I'm talking about without the third bay. Yeah.
right.
Well, I'll approve it if you knock the last little garage off. That's how I'm gonna stand. I think it'll look great. And I'm sorry about your storage, but you'll think of something.
All right.
Does the balance of the board feel that way?
That's
Yeah, I'm in
if
agreement
that's
with that.
agreeable with the owner, to remove that and to go forward for this evening to get a vote, is that agreeable?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we're eliminating the storage entirely.
Yeah, we can call it a third bay of the garage, whatever you'd like to.
Okay.
A
So
third
it's clear.
wheel.
All right.
Okay.
Any other comments from the committee? If not, Erica, is there anybody in the public wishing to discuss?
Chair, this is Erica Brown. I do not see anyone wishing to speak to this item at this time.
All right. So then we need to close the public hearing.
Yeah, this is Wendy Shuck, and I move to close the public hearing.
Brian Caholen, I'll second.
Thank you. And roll call vote. Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
Brian Caholen,
Aye.
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
and Beth McCarthy, aye. So then if we go forward with a motion to approve the application for 35 George Street without the area of the storage unit.
Okay.
We could have a motion to for
To
that.
approve. Yep. And just Erica, so one question. So should I read this in as an application for Stephen Constantino or for Joseph McFarland? For Stephen?
Stephen Costantino. I went by
Okay.
what was on the assessor's record. I must have not have seen the updated name, so apologies on that. So if you
Okay.
could please read in Stephen's name. Thank you.
No worries at all. Okay, this is Wendy Shuck, and I move to approve the certificate of appropriateness application for Stephen Constantino, 35 George Street, Barnstable, map 319, parcel 063, built in 1972, with one modification from the plan submitted, which is to remove the third garage bay, the 10-foot garage bay, otherwise as submitted.
Ryan Caholen, I'll second.
All right. And a roll call vote. Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
Wendy Schuck,
Aye.
and Beth McCarthy, aye. So with approved, modified plan.
Great. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. There are no other applications for this evening. There are no minor modifications, and there is an extension. This for Stephen Constantino, 37 Goodview Way, Barnstable map 319, parcel 080, undeveloped land, to construct a 2-bedroom carriage house on vacant land with the main house on the adjacent property, and the certificate of approval was approved 12/13/2024.
We've been,
Is
if I
that
can,
correct? Is that 12/23, 2020,
23.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, so they're
It-
just asking for a year extension on this
all right,
project.
the extension to 2024. Okay,
Yep.
sorry.
Sorry.
We've
It
been
was
we've been
originally
caught up
approved
with
in
the town plan.
2023.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
we've been caught up with the town and zoning board and planning board. Due to just the lot itself. So we're just looking to, we've gotten through all that, but I just wanted to make sure we got the extension in before December.
All right. May we have a motion to approve the extension?
Sure. This is Wendy Shuck, and I move to approve the request for an extension for Stephen Constantino, 37 Goodview Way, Barnstable, map 319, parcel 080, undeveloped land, as originally submitted.
Ryan Caholen, I'll second.
Thank you. And a roll call vote. Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
Wendy Schuck,
Aye.
and Beth McCarthy, aye. So we are that is all the extensions we have, and we have to approve the 2025 meeting schedule. Is there any comments or any concerns regarding that?
Not for me.
Okay. All right.
The only thing that I did differently this year is typically we do the December meeting as the third Wednesday, just to give a little bit more time in the month. I did put it on the second Wednesday, which is December 10th. I didn't know if you would like to push that back the 1 week to the 17th.
This is Beth. I'm very comfortable with having it the second week of December.
Okay. Me too.
Perfect.
And what date is that? The 10th?
Yes, it would be December 10th, 2025.
So that's our next meeting.
No,
No.
this is for 2025.
Next
We're
year.
just approving the
Oh,
schedule for next
okay.
year.
All right. Oh, okay.
No, I was saying that typically we run the meeting the third Wednesday instead of the second Wednesday to give applicants a little bit more time. But I did put it on as the second Wednesday for next year. So I was making sure that was okay with everyone.
Oh, okay. Ah, I see. Okay.
I'm good.
All right. Do we need a motion to approve that? Erica?
Yeah, because it's published
Or-
on the website, so I would take a motion to approve it.
Okay. Yep. This is Wendy Shuck. I move to approve the 2025 meeting schedule for the Town of Barnstable Old Kings Highway Historic District Committee meeting as submitted.
Ryan Caholen, I'll second.
Thank you. And a roll call vote. Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
and Beth McCarthy. Aye. So then we have our election, a reminder, and that's November 26th on Tuesday at the Barnstable, West Barnstable Elementary School from 7 to 8 p.m.
Vote for me.
Correct. All right.
It's not at the community building, like in
No.
right.
It
No,
wasn't.
the
It wasn't
community
last
building,
year either. It was at the school last year.
Okay.
the community building has been booked pretty fast every year. And they did
Wow.
not have the open availability for that night.
Okay.
And it seemed from the town clerk and from everybody that the elementary school has worked really well. So
Good. Perfect.
Okay. Our next item is the approval of the minutes. I believe we have October 23rd, 2024 minutes. Is that correct?
Yeah.
yes. Keeping the theme of technical issues, I was having an issue with the September minutes uploading correctly. So I only have the October meeting minutes.
Okay.
I'll have them on for the next meeting.
All right. That's fine. Any corrections or additions to those minutes?
Not from me. Look good.
No.
Yeah, I didn't see anything either. Anyone else? If not, then we need a motion to approve the minutes of October 23rd, 2024.
Yep. This is Wendy Shuck, and I move to approve the minutes from the meeting held October 23rd, 2024 as submitted.
Ryan Caholen, I'll second.
Thank you. And roll call vote. Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
and Beth McCarthy. Aye. So we have minutes approved. Our next meeting date is December 18th, 2024. And nothing else. We can have a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Okay, this is Wendy Shuck, and I move to adjourn today's meeting Wednesday, November 13th, 2024.
Ryan Caholen, I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call vote. Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
and Beth McCarthy. Aye. So,
Happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
all
Thank
right.
you.
And
Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Erica, I'm